is the moment we waited for.
Artlist.io.
We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stay down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down.
Music licensing reimagined.
Watch the game change, yeah.
Artlist.io.
Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. I do not gamble, but bet on me. Tell them that's like, yeah, it's LIV. I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they know I got it on lock. Go against me, that's a long shot. Cause I'm trying to win.
Music licensing reimagined.
Who do you feel when they make you the monster? I am not scared of none of you imposters. Taking the lead now while they watching. Think you should leave now while the option. Taking no else, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. I'm running the game now. Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, my team, we holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome in to Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. And as always, we start the Thursday nights off with the Thursday night game of the night. And week 12, we had the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the Cleveland Browns. Now, the odyssey of the thing was they're playing football in the snow. I don't know about some of you guys, some of you guys and girls, but when I seen all that snow falling in that stadium, I had to take a trip back in the past personally, right? Because growing up, you know, anybody from New York understand what I'm saying. We used to love the snow because that's the only time. Well, that's one of the best times to play tackle football. If you ain't got no you ain't got no a lot, an empty lot or vacant lot, or you're not trying to go down to your local parks or the baseball fields or whatever have you. Days like that, you ready to go ahead and play tackle football in the middle of the street. Traffic better slow down or get out the way because we playing ball, right? So, you know, I went down memory lane a little bit watching this game, and they looked like they was playing just like how we used to play, right? It was up and down the field, you know. Excuse me, losing the ball, fumbling all over the place, things like that of that nature. And, you know, they made the game a competitive game, right? But at the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns, you could say it's an upset. So the Cleveland Browns defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-19 in a game that, you know, should have been Pittsburgh's for the taking. But, you know, as we always say, that's why you play a game. And the fact that it was snowing, it helped Cleveland out immensely, right? For the winners. Let's go to their stats real quick, right? Jameis Winston, he started the game. He was 18-27, 219 yards. No touchdown passes with an interception, but he did have a rushing touchdown. He scored the final touchdown, the game-winning touchdown. No, I'm lying. He didn't score. Nick Chubb scored the game-winning touchdown, but Jameis did have a rushing touchdown. But passing was, it was pretty. Like I said, it was pretty incredible. Jerry Judy had a big game in the snow, 85 yards with 6 receptions. For me, he should have been doing that because he played in Mile High and Denver, so he should be used to weather like this at this time. But this is just the time of season where the AFC North, they're going to see a lot of snow. The Broncos, the Bears, the NFC North, the AFC North, uh, somewhat of the AFC West with the Broncos. Seattle may see, a bunch of rain if they got the dome open. But this is the time that weather's going to change, and weather's going to play a big part in how some of these games go. Just like tonight, it played a very big part. Pittsburgh was doing back and forth. They were switching quarterbacks. They were doing a whole bunch of things that normally would have you thinking that if you got 2 quarterbacks, the rule is, or the saying goes, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks at all. So they were substituting quarterbacks between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Justin Fields did give them a spark after being down. What was it, down 18-6? He started to come back, on a drive that produced their first touchdown of the day. And then, as much as Cleveland tried to give the game back to the Steelers, excuse me, they end up sealing the deal at the end with a knocking down a Hail Mary to finish off or to secure the victory. So good win for the Browns. It's kind of an upsetting loss for the Steelers because now they get knocked down to earth a little bit with their 8-3 record, and Pittsburgh is right behind them with a 7-4 record. Excuse me, Baltimore Ravens are right behind them with a 7-4 record. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Monday night game is between Baltimore and the Los Angeles Chargers, because that game will pull, if the Ravens win, they'll pull them half a game out with 6 to go, and they have to play each other again. So it's going to be a very interesting week ahead of us, right? For those of y'all that still want to pick for the Greek, as always, I would suggest that you leave your picks on the community wall, and we will add you guys to the list. As long as you ain't picking this game, because this game is final, right? But you got until Sunday at 1:00 to pick the rest of the games. Next week is going to be a little bit different because they're going to have 3 games on Thanksgiving and a 4th game on Black Friday. That's what they're calling it on Prime, Black Friday football. So, but going back to the stats, Russell Wilson had an okay day in the snow, 21 of 28, 270 yards, a touchdown pass. Calvin Austin had 78 receiving yards with the touchdown pass, with a reception rather. But there's nothing really to like. The game was really pretty much mired by the weather, and no matter what they did, it wasn't even that many penalties. Time of possession wasn't a huge issue. Lady Shay, good evening. Peace and love to you. Gratitudes. So you got 35 minutes for Pittsburgh and 25 for the Browns, but the Browns ended up winning anyhow. So this game was just all about the weather. And like I said, for me, it was like going back in the days, dropping your books off at school, asking your mom or your dad or both, could you go outside and play? And that's what you do. You go outside and play in the snow. And, like I said, in the big city, you're going to play either in the streets. You might catch a one-on-one on the sidewalk just in case you couldn't get out into the streets. But most of the time, it's street tackle football when the snow is out there. Nice, good, cushion to be hit on or to be knocked down on. So, like I said, most fellas, I don't know if some of you ladies was out there playing tackle football, but if you were in that type of situation, you would understand. But that's mostly like a northern thing because, the South don't really get too much snow per se. Like the Southeast, rather. Let me say like Southeast. Like you might get some in Colorado, Missouri, things like that. But yeah, that was just a cool occurrence for me. But I want to talk about something else that happened. Well, while I was watching, getting ready for today's uh live, I ran across a subject on ESPN, and they was basically talking about you know social media, but also the larger aspect of sports media, right? So a man named Rich Kleiman, he posted on X, and I'll read that real quick. With so much hate and negativity in the world today, it confuses me why some of national sports media still think that the best way to cover sports is through negative takes. We can all acknowledge that sports is the last part of society that universally brings people together. So why can't the coverage do the same? It's only clickbait when you say it. When the platform is so big, you can make the change and allow us all an escape from real life negativity. I, for one, find it all a waste of breath. The Olympics and JJ and Braun show was the future of what this can and should be all about. And of course, LeBron James, he liked it and also reposted it. Now, the key for me, right, while they're saying all of the big things about sports media, I'm going to bring it back to a level that we can relate to, all of us here, right, and all of us that catches a replay down the road, right. So it says we can all acknowledge that sports is the last part of society that universally brings people together. I agree 100% with that, right? And not only was it the love of sports that allowed me to have this or create this channel, create this station that I'm gonna call it a little bit, but I also felt that we can all come together and have universal conversations. I just found it on point to have this conversation because one, excuse me, it's not about LeBron James who reposted it. It's about the sports in general. It's about how people, Bronze, what's going on with you? People in general are having the same dialect. Now they're talking about, the big guys, right? The big channels, ESPN, Fox, and certain reporters in certain outlets, because the league, the NBA itself has television rights in basically every city that the league owns. My 33 brother, what up, though? What up, man? Right? So they're talking about the bigger aspect of the thing, right? Like I said, I'm just highlighting the one part where it says, we can all acknowledge that sports is the last part of society that universally brings people together. And I'm just going to highlight that, right? That I just said, I just think that we can all universally can come together. We can all leave our problems at the front door, so to speak. It's one of the things that, me and a couple of people, Word is one of them, try to build, a comfortable surrounding, a comfortable scene to where we don't have to have the chaotic situation. We want people to come in and feel comfortable and have the conversations that you guys will normally have. In this particular, and ladies, forgive me, Lady Shay, but I'm saying this to say because, in the world of sports, we can have all the disagreements in the world, right? We can have those disagreements. Just like, you know, we can all sit back and say, well, how did the hell did the Steelers lose to the Browns? And we can go into the situation. We can go back and forth with that conversation, right? We can, oh well, Russell Wilson didn't do this, or they should have played Justin Fields, or Jameis Winston had a very good game, or he's trash, or whatever the conversation is about, right? But we can have those conversations, right? But at the end of the day, we can leave these conversations right where it's at. It's not about, taking jabs at somebody. It's not about nothing else but the content of sports. The context should be about sports, right? And those are the things that we, as a group of people should be able to relate to, whether it's here or any other sports channel. Like I said, I'm just using me. This is what we're trying to build over here. We want you guys to come in and have a conversation, whatever topic it is: football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, MMA, boxing, whatever it is. Y'all want to talk about golf? Hey, we can talk whatever it is. It's mainly about sports, and that's the thing that we need to focus on, right? We shouldn't be over here trying to assassinate anybody's character, especially, because the professionals are not playing the way they're supposed to play. We shouldn't be taking, a few years back, it was speculated that, when LeBron James was on Cleveland the first time, a situation happened in his life that people were speculating on. It's not our business, right? Our business is to be a fan of the sport, spectators of the sport. Let's keep it on the sports, right? We're not here to throw no shade on a person because they like the Cleveland Browns. We're not here to throw shade on anybody because they like the Pittsburgh Steelers. We understand that that's a rivalry. We understand that's the AFC North. They play against each other. They've been playing against each other for 60 years, whatever have you. We know that families may be brought up to dislike that thing, right? But keep it on the sports. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be going over there and talk about, well, you know what? Deshaun Watson did this, and this. That's why he got hurt. We're happy. You know how some people cheered when Deshaun Watson got injured. That's a injury he has to recover from. He won't play. That could have been his very last play in the NFL. But yet you got people out there celebrating it because of his trials and tribulations off the field. We that's not our job to worry about what they do off the field. We are fans. We're supposed to admire what they do. We can critique them, criticize them, whatever. But what they do off the field, if your opinion is what it is, that don't really belong here per se. Unless you saying, well, that's the distraction. It's whatever's going on in his personal life that's distracting him on the field, A, B, and C. For another example, Damian Lillard had the same scenario. He's in Milwaukee now, and speculation is he's distracted because he's in Milwaukee, his family, whatever the case may be, all speculations, right? But critique him for his game. If you think that's hindering his game, go ahead and critique that. We can have those conversations. We're not here to assassinate nobody's character. We're here to talk about the game. If it does affect him, yes, it probably will affect him. But we should be just focused on the aspect of what they're doing in between the basketball lines, in between the football lines, diamond of baseball, the rink of hockey, whatever it is. That's what we should be focused on. I just got off the phone talking crap. Oh, you terrible. You terrible. But those are the things like. But at the end of the day, in this situation for us, that's what we should be building on, as far as allowing people to have the comfort zone to come up here, hit the panel, have a conversation about whatever the situation is on the sports level. We can agree to disagree, but we just leave it here. We leave it right where it's at, as far as you know the game at hand, the teams at hand, things of that nature. Now, if we get personal or whatever the case may be, that's something that I don't want to say personal, as far as if somebody's going through a situation. That's one thing, right? As much as we try to keep it on sports, we understand how sports can really bring people together, and sometimes sports is a therapeutic stage for a lot of people too, right? It can, people that's going through something, they can sit there, turn the TV on, and get into a game, and they can forget whatever situation they're going through. But if they feel like they want to have a conversation here, we're not here to critique them. We're here to encourage them and things of that nature. That's fine. But the point is, we should not be throwing jabs at a person's personal life. If we can help, that's one thing. But if we're not helping, we shouldn't even be on those type of conversations. You know what I mean? We can sit there and talk about, like I said, we could talk about the game at hand. We could talk about all of the aspects of sports that we want to talk about. But the goal here with sports chat with Mr. 33 is to enjoy the games, enjoy the conversations of the sport. Whether enjoy the sport of boxing, enjoy the sport of or the entertainment. Because I know some of y'all think that wrestling is entertainment. Enjoy that conversation. Enjoy the conversation about LeBron James and how he just had 4 triple doubles in a week. Enjoy the conversation of the Detroit Lions are playing great football. Don't do it, word. Or anything of that aspect. Enjoy the fact that y'all seen the Dodgers tear the Yankees' faces off, and now the Yankees are looking bad because they didn't come to play and the Dodgers did. Whatever conversation is, we'll keep it on that conversation. We can agree to disagree. If okay, well, even look, I can have conversations all day about the Jets, right? The Jets fired their general manager. I'm going to keep it exactly where it's at. I'm not worried about what Aaron Rodgers did off the field, unless it affects the play of the game. He came out, he stunk it up. Now they're talking about they want to get rid of him, right? We can talk about things like that. If that's your team, we can go ahead and dissect your team. We're not going to dissect the player's personal life. We're not going to, he's going through the situation with his wife, or in the WNBA, they're going through it with their significant others. That's not our business. That's not our place, unless it affects them. Well, then, maybe they need to, have a sit down and try to fix that so they can come out and play ball, or whatever the case may be. That should be the extent of what we're, the conversation about that. But any other conversation to make a person feel like their feelings are being attacked, their personal business is being attacked. That's the big guy. That's the ESPN, the Fox Sports Ones, Bleacher Report. Let them guys handle that. But for here, we the regular, forgive me if y'all don't feel like y'all regular people, common Joes, 9-to-5ers. But that's what we should be. We shouldn't be focused on that. We should be focused on, the fact that those 3 hours, those 2.5 hours, those 2 hours that, when you're watching WWE on television without the pay-per-view, those things are getting us away from everyday society. It gets us to focus on entertainment, sports aspect of the world. We shouldn't be, like I said, anything else that happens, as far as it being personal. Now, a person that gets injured on the field, we don't want to see that happen. But if see it happen, yeah, we can speak about that. Wow, that's crazy. X, Y, and Z, things of that nature. We can speak about things like that. But the fact that, that comment, it resonated with me just for that reason alone. Now, in the grand scheme of things, you know, for those big, the high target people is they're always gonna be attacked, because at the end of the day, they don't make themselves accessible to the media as they did, years before social media, years before, internet, right? You can always have an interview with particular players, so on and so forth. That's all you had to do was look at that thing, right? But a reporter's gonna dig, right? I'm not a reporter, but in order to understand certain things that I'm talking about, sometimes I have to investigate certain things. Not investigate, but look it up. Do the research about, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know Isaiah Thomas didn't want to go to Detroit because he was from Chicago. He wanted to play on his home team, things like that. But you do the research, and I'm using that example because I'm sitting here looking at him, right? But those are the things that you should be doing. All right, just find an understanding of what the individual, what his mindset was before going into the game. Those type of aspects, right? But if it's personal, leave it alone. But that's the goal of this channel, the channel that we're on, that you guys are supporting me with, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all, coming through and listening to the conversation. It's a light sports day as far as the NFL. So I just wanted to tackle that real quick because I just found it perplexed. Like, if this is really a universal way to bring people together, my question would be, how do we do it? Right? Shout out to you guys that, like, share, and subscribe. Super shout out to you guys that are sharing it. Right? But I feel like I would have to do more, as far as bringing people in to make them feel comfortable, right? So they can sit down and say, you know what, yeah, I like this channel. They talk about sports, they keep it where it's at, and the conversation is fulfilling. And if I feel comfortable one day to go ahead and hit the link to join the panel, I will be able to do that because these guys are showing that it's okay for somebody to do just that. And like I said, those are the things that we should be focused on, right? Because at the end of the day, shout out to the word, because he'll tell you a better you is a better us. So if you feel comfortable and have the conversation, even if it's a sports aspect, you make us a better group of people because you giving us information about the team that you're supporting or the observation that you saw, whether it's your team or not. I didn't look at that play like that. Yeah, I thought they should have ran the ball on 3rd and 1 instead of throwing a Hail Mary. Things of that nature, and that's the thing that, like I said, we as a group should be more focused on the cohesion of the people coming together than worrying about, if LeBron James is spending $2 million on whatever he wants to spend it on. That's his prerogative. If it helps him play better sports, God bless him. If it helps him be at ease to spend it, whatever it is, that's his business. But as far as the sports concept, I think we should be more focused on that. Even, like I said, even though that article wasn't for these type of conversations, I'm more focused on bringing everybody together. That's been a goal of mine for a very long time. And like I said, if there's any way to make it happen, all suggestions are wanted. All conversations are needed, right? You can build something by yourself, but it's better when you have more eyes on scene, more hands on deck to help you pull the foundation up or place the foundation together. However you want to view it. More hands on deck means it could be a better and unique situation for anybody that wants to come and solidify themselves with the foundation. And those are the things that we need to focus on going forward, whether it's this channel, this chat, anybody else's situation, right? Because it's time for us to come together at the end of the day, because we all go through situations. And a lot of the times we don't want to lean on people. We don't want to be burdens. We don't want to do anything like that. So why not, come to a sports channel and speak about sports? Or why not, go to an entertainment channel and have that type of conversation? It ain't nothing negative. It ain't none of those aspects. It's about you releasing all of that frustration, anger, tension of everyday life. Even though here this could be a part of your days for some people, but at the end of the day, this should be a place of relaxation, of just cool, mellow conversation. It do gets the voices do elevate when you have these sports conversations, because you get hype about your team or hype about whatever the subject is or the sport or however you look at it. But at the end of the day, the comfort zone should be the place that we all should be looking for. And I'm trying to establish that, every time I come up here. Does it mean it's going to happen overnight? Absolutely not. I'm not expecting it to happen overnight, but I am expecting that it'll take time and it'll grow. And for me, I have to be patient, because I understand it takes a while for greatness to occur. I know that this channel could be great. I put my own expectation on things. So I'm saying to myself, this will be a great place for people to come in, have a conversation about sports. Want to talk about the Lakers? We could talk about the Lakers. You want to talk about the Lions? We could talk about the Lions. You want to talk about the Knicks? We could talk about them. Whatever the conversation, the topic is, if you bring it up, we will have it. For example, the last live that I did was supposed to have been about the updating of week 11, but somebody, a person in the chat wanted to speak about the fight. We spoke about the fight. And the flow of it was that everybody wanted to have an opinion about the fights, the matches, the MMA matches, the Tyson fight, whatever have you. We don't mind that here. We can go off of a regular routine, just to stick, as long as it sticks with the content of the channel, which is sports. I don't care about none of that. And we had good dialect. Shout out to Word, BDB, Tay Commander that was here that day. But the conversation flowed so easily because we was talking about certain things. How do you think it affects Mike Tyson's legacy? How does it affect I almost said Logan Paul, Jake Paul, as far as his future? Then we spoke about John Jones and his potential of regaining his stature or whatever, whatever we was talking about as far as, but it stuck to the sports. It went no further than the octagon. It didn't go no further than the boxing ring itself. We spoke about, the YouTubers shouldn't be doing. Okay, cool, but we kept it on the sports, and that's the thing that we need to really focus on going forward, whatever it is, And like I said, for me in this and for in the channel, that's what we want to keep it on, right? We want to keep it on that. As football's getting ready to start, it's starting its drive already for the heading to the playoffs, right? We're in week 12. There's about 6 weeks of football left before the playoffs even begin. It's going to get intense. We're going to have the conversations, but we're going to leave it with those conversations, right? We ain't going to sit there and say, Aaron Rodgers was out there partying at Studio 54 or whatever. We're not, If that affects the game, okay, he was out there and look at his performance. Right? We're going to do our best to keep it on the sports level, the sports attribute, the sports that is bringing us together. We're going to keep it there. Now, if you want to, but you want to tell your story, like, all right, I played football and I know we ain't supposed to do this because this is my experience, that's fine too. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. The goal is to keep it on sports. It's a reason why it's a sports channel, because we are talking about sports. Like I said, if something personal happens and you diverge it here, we'll do what we can, to get you, get well soon, or sorry to hear that. If it goes that way, if the person needs help, that's something different. But our job is not to sit there and talk about, Scram Jones is doing that or whatever. That's not what we're here for. We're here to have a conversation about just strictly what's going on in the world of sports. Like even the article that I just read, it was on sports. And I'm trying to bring it forth to where we can all do the same thing. We may not be as gigantic as ESPN, Fox Sports 1, whatever. Excuse me. But we can be just as great as those networks if we do what we need to do to make this happen. Participation is always going to count. But at the same time, I got to do my job to, make sure you guys feel comfortable. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm, implying I have to do better to make you guys feel comfortable, and whoever else you bring in, I have to make them feel comfortable. So whatever information, whatever advice you have for that to happen, I am willing to take it. I am willing to apply it. If it doesn't work, it don't work. But I wouldn't know until I try and apply it. And those are the things that we need to do going forward. So that way, like I said, as this grows, we're going to grow with it, and we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have good conversations. Like I started the channel, a little bit late. I started it in August, right? Now, because I know I'm going to be here next year, whether it's football, basketball, the conversations have already been had about having fantasy league. We ain't charging nobody nothing or nothing like that. It's the fact that, okay, you love the sport, I love the sport. Let's go ahead and pick the players and see what, if we're correct on them having a big game or not, the same way we do with the weekly picks of the NFL right now. We do it because if you follow the sport, you think this team is going to win, we go ahead and pick the teams, right? Like, for example, I did not pick the Browns to win. I didn't think they had a chance. But they fooled me, and they won. So now I have to take that loss. I have a loss against me. Now I got to hope that the rest of the picks that I have, allows me to be the winner. And as I always say, congratulations to the winner of the week. Shout out to those that participated, and we keep it moving. Right. But next year, like I said, we can do fantasy league for the NFL, the NBA. People don't really talk about baseball, but that would be something to look into too. But whatever you guys will want to have added to the channel, we can add it to the channel. It may be my channel, it may be my page, it may be me having a conversation, but you guys are the ingredients to make it happen. So your value, your input is always going to be needed, right? So if you say, let's start the fantasy league, we'll do the fantasy draft in July. Okay, cool. We can do that in July. That way we can get ready for as soon as week 1 starts. We ready, right? NBA season, we could do that in September, to do the fantasy draft, and then we'll be ready as soon as NBA season starts in October. We'll be cooking. We'll be able to have a conversation. Look, my guy got busy on Boston for the NBA, or you know, uh, 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 Jared Goff got busy on the 49ers. He threw for 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, this, that, and the third. He said your defense was going to stop. Your defense was going to, it didn't do nothing. So I win because I got all the points. We win. All right, cool. We'll figure out just who the best person of picking a team is at the end of that season. That's what we're trying to do here. That's what we're going to build. Well, I want to add midgets to the show. Okay, well then let's go then. You find them. I tell you what, you find them. If you find them, you can add them. We're in the entertainment business over here. So whatever you think is entertaining, we're gonna do it. You think it's midgets, dwarfs, elves, you know, and to the ladies that's subscribed up to the channel, you guys are welcome to add your input into it as well. No information is not wanted. No information is not, it's not welcome. All information is welcome, right? Shout out to Bust It Down, right? Because he always say if everybody puts their 2 cents into a situation, the 2 cents will add up to $1. Now it's a monetary value. It's $1. It means something. You can go ahead and spend it on something. So too is your information. So too is your advice. What you see, what you're observing with the channel. Every little bit helps, and I'm willing to learn. And apply whatever you have for me. That's not a big deal, right? So, shout out, so shout out to you guys. But I just wanted to speak about that real quick, because even though that's happening in real life, as far as, people feeling like, channels are taking dibs and shots at them and reporters and all of that. We're fans. For them having social media, they make themselves accessible to us about what they're thinking about their game, how they're improving the game, how do they get ready for games and things like that. That's all welcome for people like us, right? But our goal should not be to go up there and attack certain people and things like that. That's not what we're here to do. Excuse me. So, I just wanted that, bring that up because, when the best basketball player of today is agreeing with comments like that, I think that conversation should be had. And, I decided to speak on it. Well, you play too much. I wasn't even in the chat. But yeah, whatever you guys want to, talk about, we'll do that. But we just trying to keep the content on sports. So you want to talk about midgets, right? What do you want to talk about with midgets? How does that sport? How did you find out about that sport? If you found that to be a sport, we can go ahead and have that conversation and see if there's leagues and all of those things, right? Like I said, I'll even talk about college football. It's almost playoff time for college football, right? I watch that. I'm sitting there laughing in the background because it takes the top 12 teams to get into the college football playoffs, right? Now, there's one team in particular that people are whether they're rooting for or they're rooting against, right? And that's the Colorado Buffaloes. If y'all don't know what's going on with the Colorado Buffaloes, Deion Sanders, the All-Pro, the Hall of Famer, the Super Bowl champion that he is coaching the Colorado Buffalo, right? They laughed at him last year because he was 4-8. They thought he was going to fail in this, that, and the third. Now he's in the top 25. He has to get to 12 to make the playoffs. His team is ranked 16th at this particular time with a very good, I think they're 8-2, 7-2, 8-2, something to that effect. And now they're trying to advance their way to the playoffs. in college playoffs, right? He just recruited the second best, the number two rated quarterback to come to Colorado. So you see that there's a momentum going for him. So once momentum comes, now they talking about he should take the job in Dallas. They need to fire Mike McCarthy, and excuse me, if they got a chance to draft his son, they'll draft his son so they can bait him over there to come. They doing things that the speculations of coming, but even through that, it's about sports. It's about the business of sport. And they're trying to say that whatever they can do to get Deion Sanders there, they'll do it, whether it's drafting their son, whatever it is, you know. So we can have that conversation about that sport. I follow the sport, and whatever sport you in, just let me know what sport it is, and I'll do what I can to grasp the understanding. You know, college football is a lot of different teams, but that's why we're only focusing on the 25 because, or well, the 12 really, because those are the only ones that make the playoff, right? They got like maybe 100 bowl games, and teams are going to play in bowl games, but they're worried about the national championship games and things like that. So we can focus on things like that, and that's going to be the top 12. So I follow that just because someone may ask that question and things like that. Maybe once you build the channel, you can get a draft running. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like I said, I started this channel like maybe August, so I couldn't do the NFL draft. I didn't even think about the NBA draft because in the summertime, that's the quietest part of sports, unless you're a baseball fan, right? So that will be the best time to get the things settled and ready to go. But last summer, it was trying to put the sports channel together. I consulted with some people, shout out to the word once again, and other people like, yo, we should do sports, and maybe we can get some people to come over and have a conversation, this, that, and the third. And they're like, yeah, go for it. I think you should go for it. You're doing well. You got the momentum, so go ahead and do it. And that's what I did. So that's a good idea, Lady Shay. So like I said, every little piece of advice counts. So once we get through this season, we can go ahead and start working, for the next season. We'll have about 6 months after the Super Bowl because preseason starts in August for the NFL. And things like that. Because even after the NFL, I might just start talking about basketball. Like as I'm talking to you guys now, I'm watching the Lakers and Orlando Magic, right? Just to see what's going on. Things like that. Stay on my P's and Q's. If somebody has a basketball question, things like that. And I do speak about basketball every once in a while anyway. I talk about certain teams that's playing well, and that's what I do. Just to show that, hey, we're talking about sports. We're going to keep it on sports. So that's, as in a raffle, maybe so, Lady Shay. Like I said, we'll have the time to do that. I'm not, I don't care if the channel grows, one person at a time. We have time. My energy, my consistency is what's gonna show people that he's really trying to make this work. Let's give him a shot. Let's do this, that, and the third. I even thought about doing a couple of games, like broadcasting, not broadcasting, but yeah, you could say broadcasting. MCing games while it's being high, while it's on, and oh well, he's shooting 10 or 15, or Aaron Rodgers is 1 of 9, 4th down, they punting, things like, I even thought about doing that. So, it's all new for me. And the excitement of the progression of the channel is what's going to keep me going. And that's what I need. That's the energy that I have going forward. excuse me. This year, like I said, the season's almost over, but we have fun. We have fun picking games, picking the week out and things like that. And then, I'll probably do that for the NBA as well. But I didn't even think about that because I was so focused on football, and I know a lot of subscribers like football. So I mainly focus on that so they can feel comfortable to say, all right, we're going for the Steelers and not the Browns, even though, like I said, I lost that game. But things like that, that's what we need to do going forward. And things like, so year one, we got a few months in, but we'll hit year one in August, and then, we'll see where we at. We started at 0. So the people that's here now, it's an improvement, right? We just want to see more growth. We want people to feel more comfortable. Say, yo, let's have an NBA fantasy draft. Let's have the NFL fantasy draft. Things like that. We'll talk about hockey, fine too. But those are the things that we're talking about going forward. And that's just about it. But as far as closing it up, I don't know if anybody here, like I said, if y'all wanna pick your teams for the rest of the week or for Sunday, y'all can do that now. If that's what y'all want to do, we can do that. But if you don't know who's playing, look at the community wall. The week 12 schedule is up. If you need time and you still want to pick, leave your picks on the community wall. Leave it there, and you'll be added to the excuse me to the list that we have already going on. You just can't pick today's game because today is over. Obviously, if you didn't pick by 8 o'clock, you can't really pick because the game is over. But that's the goal here for Sports Chat, right? That's the thing that we're trying to do. We want you guys to come in, have fun, pick some games, shoot the breeze. If you want to come up and have conversation, you're always welcome. That's why the link is already it's already there. Yeah, it's already there. So, if you want to come up and have that conversation, you're more than welcome. And like I said, we're here to make you feel comfortable having a conversation. Look at Toronto beating Minnesota tonight. Look at that. Wow. 4-12. The 4-12 team beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, who had high hopes. See, things like that. That's what sports do. Sports will make you it makes you observe something. And then, for the most part, you can apply it to your everyday life. Like, they may not be winners, but they're winners today, whatever. You can go ahead and have those conversations. You can go ahead and make statements like that. And we can feed off that that statement and have a conversation around it. But that's what we're going to do here. Well, Sports Chat. Like I said, if y'all want to pick your teams tonight, we can do that. I can go down the list and show who's playing, and you guys put your picks in the comments. Or like I said, you can wait till you got till Sunday. You want to do now, the one thing I did not do today, which I normally do, is I do put the injury report for those for real people. That sounded rude. I apologize. For those that want to know who's playing and who's not playing for particular teams and games, so they can pick it, I will do that tomorrow afternoon. So that way you have the information that the NFL puts out. That's how teams plan their games. So you can pick the same way. And like I said, I'm trying to be as professional as possible, right? If that's what the NFL uses, it's good for us too. So we can use that. Unless you got your eeny, meeny, miny, mo picks, that's what you do. That's what you do. No judgment here, because who knows? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo could get you a 12-0 win, right? So who knows? And then you get excited, like, yo, I like this, and you'll come back, right? So that's just the goal of the channel. Like I said, forgive me if I sound like I'm babbling, but I just want you guys to feel comfortable coming in, take your shoes off, feel at home with the channel, and we can have those conversations. So, I guess everything else has been said. So, with that being said, I truly appreciate you guys coming through. Uh, I should be on Sunday night around 11:30, same time. As that Sunday night game wraps up, we'll be able to talk about the games that happen on Sunday, and plus anything else that happens in between, tomorrow and Sunday. Now, be forewarned, we do talk about, like I said, we talk about, WWE. We talk about SmackDown. We talk about Raw. We spoke about Crown Jewel on here. I don't think there's a fight coming on per se, but if it is, we'll probably go ahead and have that conversation too. This is a sports channel, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about sports. We're going, hey, I saw that fight. I like how that jab came out and it led to that straight hook and put him out or whatever it is. But that's what we're looking forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to you guys adding to the conversation and adding to the content. So I appreciate everybody that came through. With that being said, I'll see you guys Sunday night. Mr. 33 signing off. I'm out.